Hello and welcome to Tarnished Reviews. I'm Matt and today we're going to take a look at the professions in Rift. I'm going to start off with some basic information. There are 9 professions in total in Rift, 3 gathering professions and 6 crafting professions, all with a maximum skill of 300. You can only have 3 professions at a time, but you can have any combination that you want. Rift also has a special feature, which is the ability to break down certain items for crafting materials. Now, I'm a weaponsmith, so I'd be able to break down weapons for crafting materials, which makes it a lot easier to level the profession and a lot faster. So yeah, it's definitely a bonus. Rift also uses different kinds of tools and machines that I can show you here. Here's the loom. Over here we have the workbench. Up here we have the forges. See right there. And all the way over there we've got the apothecary laboratory. Now this is obviously for the Defiance in Meridian. So let's take a look at the gathering professions. As I said, we've got butchery, foraging and mining. Now butchery allows the gathering of animal parts and the crafting of leather, and it goes very well with outfitting, armor smithing and apothecary. Foraging allows the gathering of plants and wood and goes very well with apothecary, artificing, weaponsmithing and armor smithing. Mining allows the gathering of minerals and gems and goes very well with weaponsmithing, armor smithing and artificing. So those are the gathering professions. Now let's take a look at the crafting professions. Crafting professions in Rift are apothecary, armor smithing, weaponsmithing, artificing, outfitting and rune crafting. So first of all we'll take a look at the apothecary, which is arguably the most complex crafting profession in Rift. I'm going to try and break down the different types of concoctions that the apothecary can make. So first of all, apothecaries can make potions. Now potions instantly restore either mana or health. Then there's the tonics, which also restore mana or health, but they do it over time. Then there are bottles, which provide a very strong buff, but only for a short duration, so you want to use these if you're trying to push your DPS, healing or tanking. Next there are serums. Serums provide a medium buff for a medium duration, and they are separated into the assault and fortification classes, which are either beneficial or offensive. However, you can only have one assault and one fortification on you at a time. There are also vials. Now vials provide a strong buff for a long duration. However, they count as both assault and fortification serum, so you have to look at your class and figure out whether you benefit most from having an assault and a fortification serum, or simply from having one vial. Next up is filters. Now filters are not seen in many MMOs, or games really. They are concoctions that give give either beneficial area of effects, buffs or healing to your group or raid members, but they can also provide area of effect damage by when being thrown onto the ground and doing AoE damage to your enemies. Next up is elixirs. Now elixirs, they remove certain types of debuffs. Say I were to have a curse on me, I would use a curse elixir and it would fully remove the curse. And you can have any amount of curse on you and it will remove it. So yeah, elixirs are very powerful. Next up is the dye. Now dyes have been seen before and they're very nice in any MMO really. So let's give an example. If say I've got these red sort of bronze shoulders and they really don't go with my golden silvery look here, so I could use a dye and make them silvery or golden. So yeah, you can see that you'd be able to make your items look like a set even though they might not be. Now dyes can be purchased from apothecaries but also from vendors. However, apothecaries have a much wider selection, and the vendor bought ones can be quite expensive really. Next up is the armor smithing. So right, armor smiths, they can create plate mail and chainmail armor. They can also create shields. And quickly we'll move on to the weaponsmith. Right, so weaponsmiths, which my character Coldforge is, can create one-handed or two-handed swords, maces, axes, or daggers. They can also create guns and bows, and they can create weapon enhancements like whetstones, which temporarily increase weapon damage. Okay, so that's the weaponsmith. Moving on to the artificer. Now, artificers create jewelry, mainly necklaces and rings. They can also create staffs though, as well as totems, which go in the offhand for clerics and mages and provide a stat bonus. They can also create wands, which also goes in the ranged weapon slot for clerics and mages, and provides damage as well as a stat buff. So that was the artificer. Let's take a look at the outfitter. So outfitting is both cloth and leather. So you'll want to use leather that you gather from butchering, and you'll want to use cloth that you gather from any humanoid mob around the world. They can create armor as well as bags. So that was the outfitter. Let's move on to the rune crafter. Now, rune crafting has been broken for a while now, but it has, as of the 4th of March 2011, been fixed. Let's rejoice for that. Because they've got an ability which is called Rune Break that breaks down magical items, which is, you know, items like green items with a minimum of stats on them. You can break down these items in order to get rune shards, which are basically your components for crafting runes, which have different stats and benefits to them that you can put into your gear. Okay, so that was all the professions. Now let's take a quick look at the daily quest system in Rift. Now, Rift uses a daily quest system where you can see you walk over to the daily quest giver, and she will give you a quest for the appropriate skill that you have in a profession. So if I were to pick up a quest now, for example, I would get a quest for me to make 4 iron longswords, and I would then have to deliver these iron longswords to a specific location in the world, not just in the city but in the world. So you can travel quite far with this, but the rewards are also very nice. You get a box of crafting supplies as well as artisan's marks. Now, artisan's marks are these crafting currencies that you use in order to purchase different kinds of recipes. So I'd go over to my weaponsmith recipe vendor, and I would use my artisan's marks to buy different kinds of recipes that my normal trainer would not have available to me. This is very good because sometimes you can find recipes from the vendor which have cheaper material costs than the ones that you could learn from your trainer. So keep your eye out for this. At skill level 300, we believe, we're not sure, but we believe that you start getting epic crafting daily quests. Now, these quests work just like the normal daily quests, they just require you to make much harder craftable items. However, when you do that, you get access to plaques. Now, plaques are just like artisan marks, but they give you access to epic recipes and epic items. So yes, they are a lot more powerful and a lot more desired. And you'll get access to that around skill level 300. And that is the profession system within Rift. And I'd like to give a special thanks to my guild Skywatch for answering all my stupid little questions in order for me to give you guys this video. And I'd also like to thank Zelda, who thoroughly explained the apothecary profession to me, as it was somewhat hard to figure out, me having just started playing the game. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Please comment on the video, like it, share it, and send it around, and I will keep updating, and I'll see you around next time. Thank you very much. Bye!